Well, at least you made it home in time for... I mean, what are you doing at home? You just sent me something that you were, like, back on your Alicia Silverstone pervy movie kick. And I gotta tell you... I gotta tell you, though, I was editing that last episode, and I was trying to find the clips to that second movie you were telling me about, not the one where she's a next-door neighbor. But the clip I find from this other one is some, like, dude bursting in on her while she's taking a bath.
Yeah, you see, I think I had misspoken in the previous one. I said that I picked up The Babysitter, but I didn't. I picked up this film called Hideaway.
Okay. You know, I kind of wanted to watch The Babysitter.
Well, hey now. But let me just tell you about the premise, because that's kind of what we do here. We discuss pop culture. So Jeff Goldblum is in the movie.
Actually, we changed it to an Alicia Silverstone fan cast.
Yeah, so Jeff Goldblum's in the movie. All I can think about is Jurassic World and Jurassic Park, obviously. And then she's in it, and this movie must have been after The Crush, but it's like a similar role she's playing. So the whole thing of the movie is Alicia Silverstone is the daughter, there's a mother, and Jeff Goldblum is the father. They all get in the car, but they get into some sort of car accident, right, where the mother and the daughter escape, but Jeff Goldblum dies in the beginning of the movie. And he's on the cover of the DVD, so I'm like, dude, so much for that. But what ends up happening
is this one of those ones that was shot probably earlier, and then they're like, well, we got to capitalize on Jeff Goldblum being a bigger star now after, like, Jurassic Park.
Maybe, yeah. Well, so, look, I'll explain. What winds up happening, Joe, is they bring him to the hospital, right? But the mother and daughter, like, in their mind, he's dead. He's gone, and they're crying, whatever. But this doctor does some, like... He's into some, like, hocus-pocus, witchcraft kind of doctoring kind of stuff.
He's a Papa Shango.
No, he really is, because he like, puts some sort of syringe into his chest, and Jeff Goldblum's character's already been dead for 2 hours. So how are you going to revive somebody? But he does it. He revives him, but somehow Jeff Goldblum's character links telepathically with this murderer. So Jeff Goldblum can see what the murderer can see, and the murderer can see what Jeff Goldblum can see. And I almost just turned it off because it was this super stupid, swimmy, like CGI bull crap, right? And I was like, what the hell am I watching? Like, I have a better use of my time.
Do you think the murderer probably got really confused when he was looking through Jeff Goldblum's eyes and saw dinosaurs in a park?
Probably.
He's probably like, what the hell? It's a T-Rex!
Yeah, I got to thinking, I was like, you know what? Even if this film is bad, which it wasn't terrible, it's gonna make for some good stuff for the show, and I gotta tell Joe about it. So the movie goes on, and Jeff Goldblum's character, who I'm gonna tell you, what the hell was his character's name? I got the DVD case right here in front of me. Siskel and Ebert said, it takes no hostages and makes no compromises.
Siskel and Ebert suck, which, you know, I think like years ago, their whole review archive went up on their site, and I was just kind of like, all right, I'll see what a film reviewer says about something. I don't take them seriously, because, like, most of them have never made a movie either.
Right.
But I went, like, every movie I loved, I basically watched them trash it, and I know... All right, no one's going to be like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Secret of the Ooze is a classic movie.
But I disagree, because it is.
The first film is the Ninja Turtle sequel, and I found the new one just as boring and violence-filled as the first one, with one difference. The novelty of seeing the Turtles has worn off.
They're not going to put it in a film class where they're all pretentious about movies. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of like, you're watching these two guys talk about how stupid it is, and you're like, yeah, it wasn't meant for you, though.
These radioactive turtles who seem to applaud the lowest common denominator. They talk to each other in the way that teenage boys sometimes do when they're trying not to stand out from the crowd by having any ideas. You know, cowabunga, dude.
No.
And I always loved it, so.
Well, you gotta think, a film that is made, like, everything is based around demographics, right? Like, 50-year-old adults aren't gonna like teenage pop, and they're not gonna like the Turtles.
I think if they do, you might want to put an eye on them.
Yeah. So anyway, I was
Hilton.
Yeah, I was trying to look. His name is Hatch, so I don't have to keep saying Jeff Goldblum.
No,
and I want you to put
a little
counter up here every time I say his name. All right, so what ends up happening is Hatch gets super paranoid because he can see this stuff. Now, his family thinks that he's gone crazy, which on the surface, he kind of has, to be honest.
To be fair,
and
when
he's
Jeff
super
Goldblum
out there.
is talking, he already sounds crazy.
Yeah. So in his Jeff Goldblum kind of way, he is just, he's doing his whole shtick, and then he buys a bunch of guns for the house. Okay? Now his daughter is going through that teenage phase where she's trying to get out with her friends. She's trying to do this and do that. But anytime Hatch gets inflicts pain on himself, he goes into the killer's mind. So long story short, the killer is trying to get Regina, which is Alicia Silverstone's character, and it turns out in the very end that the killer is the son to the doctor that saved Hatch's life. So that's why they were like I told you, that weird CGI whatever stuff, and it just connected them. That's why they're together, and it turns out that killer also killed his mother and his sister.
So the killer, like life, found a way?
Life, finds a way.
He found a way, and his way was collecting bones and building a big sculpture out of them to show his dad.
I found a way, I found a way.
I mean, it's doing something nice for his father, okay?
Yeah. It was super weird, man, but I don't know. I kind of dug it. I think I picked it up for $1 or so I'm not mad about it,
So now, are you going to complete your Alicia Silverstone collection? Like you have your Jennifer Aniston collection?
I might get to that point, but it is around Christmas time, so I gotta not think about just myself as much as I'd love to just go on a huge spree and pick up all of her films, but I'm sure I'll get to that point, sometime down the road, right?
Well, when you're up here, we can always go to Newberry Comics or Bomo's and film you going through the aisles and the VHS section.
Dude, I can't wait to get up there. I know there's going to be snow and stuff, probably a lot of it, but I am pretty pumped to get back. Yeah, I'm really pumped to get home and just kind of see everyone and just escape from this busy life here in Nashville for a while.